Hey guys and gals, hello my friends. It's the 4th of March of 2025. This is as always your host Joe, Life with Josef, and I finally feel well enough and I've got almost all of the resolution done on the mirror damage where the guy hit me in boron in San Bernardino, California. Now I put together all the raw footage and put it up on YouTube because I had to send his insurance, which is Allstate, I had to send him something to prove what I'm saying, to prove my claim, and I didn't want to send them edited footage because I didn't want my evidence to be questioned due to my editing. Now, on this, I'm going to edit the hell out of it because it's resolved. I heard from the Allstate yesterday, a little struggle to get through to these people, but they finally admitted financial responsibility, and I'm going to send them pictures of the final bill. It's about $1,250. They already have my debit card to just e-transfer me the money, and I think we're pretty much settled. Our first shot here is of me pulling into my spot, and then you're going to see the guy in the Range Rover pull out, and the guy in the Toyota pulling in the same spot literally right away, which is probably not his brightest choice of the day. I'm going to show the Google Earth shot here, and first I'm going to arrow where I was. Now I'm going to arrow where the Toyota was. And now I'm going to arrow roughly where the other driver was when the collisions happened. And I'm going to point out here, and you're going to see this on the clip as well. I have no idea what this guy's thinking about or where he thinks he's going. And I'm going to arrow RV spots, right lower right here. It's like, dude, really? Okay, here's the damage to the locomotive. It's just the mirror and the mirror alone. Now, here's the damage to the Toyota, which is a lot more substantial. We're exchanging info, and I'm petting Murphy. God love you, Murphy. One of the cardinal rules of driving a trailer, or whether you're driving a CDL or an RV, is you really got to know where you are, you got to know where you're going, and you got to know how to get out of where you're going. And I learned this lesson when I had to back the 3 or 4 tenths of a mile down the wrong road at my uncle's. And then when I got gas in Patterson on the same trip last summer, I talked about being at the Shell station and having to recognize how to get in and out safely. And I think this guy was trying to turn right, and I just don't know what he was thinking about. God, my friend, not a good move. Well, I'm driving away right here, and the guy who owned the Toyota was really, really unhappy, and he had every right to be. So I'm going to film the close now. If his insurance was going to cause me trouble, then I was going to have to file with my insurance, who is Progressive. I was going to have to get Flo and her dogs of war involved. And I have $1,000 deductible. So I wasn't going to claim for myself. I was going to file a claim so my insurance company, and I could never remember this term, hold on. Now the word is called subrogation. And that's when one insurance pursues another insurance for damages. Now, I'm going to talk about this. Now, if it would have happened to me like this, I would have filed with my insurance and sent Flo and the Dogs of War, and they would have engaged in subrogation to get the $1,240 in damages paid. Now, it didn't work that way, and everything should be fine. I do know that I didn't tell anyone this, but If I was not going to get satisfaction through insurance, nothing eliminates my right to file a civil suit in small claims court, of which I'd have sued him for the $1,240 and the costs for me to drive my 15-mile-gallon truck to where he lives, stay, file, and drive home. It wasn't going to go for that because it was obvious. The guy admitted it. I don't always have to be an asshole, but, guys, you did the damage, pay me my money, and we're good to go. I felt bad for the guy because he just didn't make a good decision. And not to say that I haven't made the best ones either, but, God almighty, dude, you got to know when to get in and when to get out. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about subrogation in the sense that right before my dad died, I had my mom's car out in Stockton, and I was driving back to my mom's, and a guy rear-ended me about $1,200 worth of damage, but he didn't have insurance in the car. It wasn't his car. Stockton PD refused to respond to a call for service, saying it's a civil matter. I said, excuse me, but this section of the vehicle code, you have to have insurance in the car, and when I am stopped at your Fourth and Fifth Amendment violating drunk driving checkpoints, which is now expanded to seatbelts and all this other shit, which is an acceptable violation of the Constitution. Don't let anyone tell you it's not. It is. But the Supreme Court has said it's an acceptable violation. So anyway, the long story short is that the registered owner of the vehicle, same address and same last name, said to her insurance that he did not have permission to drive the vehicle, which under California law exempts her from financial responsibility for whatever happens to the car being driven by somebody without permission. Well, the internet's a wonderful thing. 10851A is stolen vehicle in California of the vehicle code. And I looked it up, and it met the elements of 10851A. But I couldn't get my mother's insurance to send me the document that this is what the RO is claiming. Because bluntly, I was going to go down to the CHP in Stockton, show them my evidence, and then ask them, who swears a complaint for 10851A? Is it you guys or is it me? Because bluntly, I want charges filed. I want this guy arrested. Well, I needed my mom's help, and I think my mom was she just didn't want to deal with it. And bluntly, her insurance subrogated the guy. She got the $1,200. It was like a $500 deductible. But her insurance agent, who is useless, but he told her that I have to submit to the phone interview because I was driving the car. Okay, well, I hemmed and hawed on this, but they said my mom won't get her $500 until I do this. So, you all know what a fucking asshole I could be. So I got this gal on the phone, and she asked me questions, and I said, well, I really can't answer that, because in the written statement to me, you have said if I in any way perjure myself, that you will seek civil and also criminal. I had to stop and think of the word. Jesus, I'm having a rough day. You will seek civil and criminal adjudication for perjury. So I can't guarantee. All I can say is I will attest to what I turned into the report online at Stockton PD. I don't have it in front of me. So I cannot accurately articulate what you have in front of you because I don't have it in front of me, nor do I have access to it. And I just ground this gal. I had to tell her at the end, I said, look, this is business. I said, if I slip up in any way, you're going to have me arrested for perjury, for insurance fraud. you said it right in the letter. And she didn't really have a lot to say because it did say it in the letter. I mean, they asked me like, well, was a traffic violation committed? And I said, well, was somebody found guilty or something? And I said, well, there were no traffic charges adjudicated in court to my understanding. So you know how exact I could be on the language. And I let this gal know, look, the guy hit me and this should be so simple, but you guys are looking like you want to pin this on me. And so we got all that straightened out. The $1,100 or $1,200 due my mom was properly subrogated. The guy did have to pay, and I don't know what was said or done or what leverage was used. It could have very well been, if you don't pay this, we're going to go to the CHP ourselves and have you arrested. Jail and $1,200 is not a hard choice. So that's what subrogation is, and that's why subrogation is important. So my mom did have her car fixed, and she got her $500 deductible back, and they paid the $1,200 straight to the body shop. So the subrogation is important, but we didn't have to do that. Everything's handled, and I felt bad for the guy. What do you want me to say? So that pretty much sums up the broken mirror, all that story. I did have it done at Stockton Nissan. Ramsey was my guy. When I got sick on the car ride, he worked with me to get to get the appointment. They took care of it. They changed my oil, and I had a sticky hood release. And I noticed this. I can't think if I said it when I was in Williams in January. I went to check the oil on the day that I'm driving to Kingman, and I couldn't get the hood open. So it would lift just a micro. Jesus, a stutter. It would lift just a micrometer. And then, I would press on the hood here at latch, but I couldn't get the hood open enough so I could reach in and do the hood release lever. So somehow I got to Kingman, I drove around, and then when I pulled in the Rutherfords to eat, I saw that the hood was up. I don't mean up like you're driving down the road and the hood is up in your face and you crash. I mean, it was up to where I can get my hand in the and do the lever. So I managed after I ate, you normally check engine oil cold unless you have a dry sump like I had on the Spider on Jolene, and that you have to check hot. But anyway, so I did check the oil and I did bring it in, and they did a little minor fix and it works fine. So Ramsey 1010, dude, way to go. So I think that's about it in this very long and drawn out bunch of nonsense. This is, as always, your host Joe, Life with Josef, a little story about the damage to the mirror and the resolution. Enjoy your day. Peace be with you. And we'll see you for the next one. Oh, also, thank you for watching and subscribing. I've got like over 300 subscribers now. God love you all. Thank you for that. Enjoy your day. Peace be with you, and we'll see you for the next one. Hey, there's one more thing that I want to add right here. You see, I'm using my tablet to film this. My mother's insurance asked me where I was going. And I told him it was literally, I said, it's none of your fucking business. And then I said, I know what you're asking me. And I'm going to tell you, I had my mother's permission to drive the car, and I was not driving for hire. I was not delivering papers, pizza, or people. So it was private use of a private vehicle with the owner's express permission. And that answered the question that she was hemming and hawing about. And this is important. If you use Uber or Lyft, you take the risk. If you're involved in an accident and you're the passenger, if the driver does not have the correct insurance, you risk his insurance saying, hey, we're not going to cover the damages because he or she doesn't have the correct insurance to operate for hire. This is what taxis have to have this in like $1 million umbrella liability policy, but these independent jobbers, you take a chance, and you need to understand that. And if you're driving for Uber, pizza, grocery delivery, and you get into an accident, I've seen this more than once on social media, your insurance is, if they find out, they're going to say, dude, we're not going to pay for this. And then you got people with a banknote. Insurance won't cover the damages. The car is undrivable, and the bank and the lender wants their money. And even if you have the car go to repo, if it's a $500 wreck and you owe $40,000, you still owe the money. You can't bankrupt. You probably bankrupt off it, and then if you're hurt riding in an Uber, okay, you sue the driver, but he's going to bankrupt off it, and you're going to have a hell of a time collecting if you're ever able to. So this is a question that they asked me that I just ground the shit out of her about, but this is something you all need to be aware of if you use Uber or Lyft, or you drive as a vendor. And I saw this at the Mercury, because I had a guy who was in the auto service department at Sears. And he got up and did the route in the morning, and so his wife was a stay-at-home mom. I had mad appreciation for this guy. He did a damn good job for me. Anyway, he mentioned once that if he saw the bag of rubber bands in the car, and they were making a warranty claim like for brakes, he denied him and said, you have a goddamn paper route. We're not paying for this. So it's something else to think about. So we'll get back now to the close and our regularly scheduled programming. So that pretty much sums up the broken mirror, all that story. I did have it done at Stockton Nissan. Ramsey was my guy. When I got sick on the car ride, he worked with me to get to get the appointment. They took care of it. They changed my oil, and I had a sticky hood release. And I noticed this. I can't think if I said it when I was in Williams in January. I went to check the oil on the day that I'm driving to Kingman, and I couldn't get the hood open. So it would lift just a micro, Jesus, a stutter. It would lift just a micrometer. And then, I would press on the hood here at latch, but I couldn't get the hood open enough so I could reach in and do the hood release lever. So somehow I got to Kingman, I drove around, and then when I pulled in the Rutherfords to eat, I saw that the hood was up. I don't mean up like you're driving down the road and the hood is up in your face and you crash. I mean, it was up to where I can get my hand in the and do the lever. So I managed after I ate, you normally check engine oil cold unless you have a dry sump like I had on the Spider, on Jolene, and that you have to check hot. But anyway, so I did check the oil, and I did bring it in, and they did a little minor fix, and it works fine. So, Ramsey 1010, dude, way to go. So I think that's about it in this very long and drawn out bunch of nonsense. This is, as always, Your host, Joe, Life with Josef, a little story about the damage to the mirror and the resolution. Enjoy your day. Peace be with you. And we'll see you for the next one. Oh, also, thank you for watching and subscribing. I've got like over 300 subscribers now. God love you all. Thank you for that. Enjoy your day. Peace be with you, and we'll see you for the next one.